everybody, Zeidoktor here, and this episode of the Typical Manga Review is going to be dedicated to Attack on Titan, Chapter 92, Marley's Soldiers. And we actually start up in, of all things, a blimp. Well, I say of all things, but really, if anything's analogous to Nazi Germany, it's blimps, and this Marley. But anyway, this Zeppelin is loaded up with people who look like they're just drugged out and restrained. They're also on hooks or pulleys, rail things in there. We have an officer pretty much giving orders here. The armored train is out of commission thanks to Gabby last chapter. But there's still loads of fixed anti-Titan artillery inside that fort that await them. So the plan here is that Zeke will be the spear and Rainer will be the shield. Can't remember, is it Rainer or Reiner? I think it's Rainer. On the ground level, the Marleyan warriors are attacking with the Jaws Titan just attacking right in their foxholes. He's also tearing up the train tracks from earlier. We also see the Cartman Titan. No, Titan, that's a bad Titan! With artillery platforms right on his back. Like, there's actually people inside those things just shooting guns while he carries them. So, good use of the pack mule power there. And he's literally upending some of their barracks and bunkers. Meanwhile, Falco, one of the guys from last week, is helping an enemy soldier into a foxhole. He's been injured, so they're treating him for potential use as a POW. Gabby accuses him of trying to suck up by actually adhering to international law. But that's not really what he's concerned about. When the guy starts speaking, he asks Udo, the glasses guy from last time, to translate. And the guy is basically saying, "Don't touch me, you'll corrupt me, you devils." Which gets their Marleyan boss just laughing it up. The soldiers are looking at this. What do you make of this? I don't think we've done enough damage to the enemy's. I think we've done enough damage to the enemy's front line. The war units are withdrawn. We ought to block the enemy's path of retreat. And as that's getting ready, and as he's saying that, they launch a flare into the sky. And that's pretty much the warning for everybody to get the hell out of there because things have started up. Back up in the Zeppelin, all those druggies are pretty much just thrown out of the thing and parachuted down. But as they're floating down, Zeke actually screams outside of the Zeppelin, and every single one of those people turns into a Titan. And they basically just Titan bomb the fortress. They just crash into the thing. They just smash the thing to bits by that alone. Then they get up, and all those soldiers pretty much don't have much of a prayer at that point. You can see the Marleyan telling the other Eldians, like, our Marleyan descendants were eaten up that way too. Which is weird, because I think the word he's looking for is ancestors. By you Eldians. And up in the sky we see Rainer parachuting down right above them. So kinetic bombardment was suitably powerful, but 60% of them died from the impact of the fall due to excessive altitude. Many of the anti-Titan artillery units are still functional. 28, 29, location and number confirmed. Still, another wall. Just like a little brief flashback of his time with Aaron and them. It's like, I've had enough of walls already. At which point he cuts himself open and we see the armored Titan just smashing down. Gabby warns him to be careful, but it's largely not necessary, as he's pretty much just able to clothesline their walls and get rid of all their artillery before they can even get it into position. The guns that do manage to fire, though, actually manage to penetrate the armor a little bit. Fortunately, the worst that's mostly stopped by the intervention of the Jaws Titans, just smashing things around. Galliard. They fire off them, but then Rainer starts attacking the wall more and more. Then we cut back to the sky where Zeke is coming down. So, situation's already under control. This war came about because of our defeat, Rainer. And then as he crashes down in Beast Titan form, isn't war a terrible thing? At which point he does, Zeke pretty much does this little trick of grabbing some rubble and sending it and launching it at the enemy navy at sea. They're actually able to fight back at least somewhat, and in fact, Rainer has to actually jump in front of Zeke and take a bullet, and take a shot, which actually blows him apart. Still, it's not enough to actually stop everything, because the narration goes on to explain that with the annihilation of their fleet, the Mid-East Allied forces signed a peace treaty with Marley, and after 4 long years, the war ended with Marley standing victorious. Yet they now knew that the age of all being ruled by the power of the Titans was coming to an end. Marley was now faced with the need to acquire the power of the founding Titan as soon as possible. And that's where the chapter ends. And I'm going to admit, there's not a lot to describe here because it's largely an action chapter, and probably the highlight of that action was the Titan bomb to me. My first attempt at this was like such a horrible mismatch. I actually took some notes to kind of like organize this a bit. First of all, the first thing that kind of caught my attention here was the fact that they actually do have Zeppelins, because that was one thing I wondered about. Do they have air power? And they do. And that'd be the case to what extent? Like, can they cross the ocean with those Zeppelins? Can they go to paradise with them and go after Aaron's side of things? Or do they not have that range? Like, how much do they need to refuel for that to be an issue? That's going to be interesting. And plus, the Walk Society doesn't have flight, so that's simply something for them unless they come up with something last. I want to say it's been 4 years, going by Zeke's line there, that the war started because of their failure. So I'm going 4 years based on that, but we'll see. The Jaws Titan is actually pretty badass. I'm kind of curious to see what he'll be able to be like when we actually see him face as a human. Right now, though, he's obviously like able to get the job done. And to my surprise, so could the Pac-Mule Titan. Like, it's noticed he's not especially powerful as a fighter, but they make up for that by giving him things to fight for him. Go Titan, that's a bad Titan! Yeah. Also, one thing I noted, everybody hates Eldians. It's like, even foreign soldiers are like, don't touch me, you animals. You damn dirty Eldians. It's like, dang. Like, and it actually gives me a wonder, like, how many other societies even have Eldian populations now at this point, given that. I mean, it does seem to suggest that there is something to the whole Eldians ruled the world with conquest before. Not quite sure what to make of that just yet, or how that's going to affect things going forward, because that's going to be an issue when our guys go to the mainland, because obviously we got Marley, but they also need to deal with other societies out there. And then for me, as I said earlier, was the highlight of the chapter, the Titan bomb. Zeke just screams, and then suddenly it's raining Titans. I don't know what the opposite of Hallelujah is, but it's raining Titans. Like, seriously, they just drop Titans on people. Like, holy crap, dude. And then we have Reiner, and this is like the one big thing that kind of struck me here. Is like, a lot of times in these kinds of series, like, the supernatural powers almost always outstrip technology. So I like the fact that there actually is less of a gap here. Like, the technology is relevant. In fact, I briefly had a thought, though I don't think it would really work, that maybe that's why they want the founding Titan to erase people's memories of those developments so they can just kind of like reset the clock. I don't think that would work, though, because I think that only affects Eldians. At the very least, I remember the fact that Mikasa and Levi were Oriental, that actually meant that they couldn't be affected by the founding Titan's power. I think that was an issue for Kenny too, if I remember correctly. Let's see here. Another option kind of come to mind is that was like, if they have the founding Titan, they can pretty much control any Eldian. So maybe they can actually like get to the Eldian populations of other countries and Titanize those like right in their own backyard. Wouldn't that be a thing? So I do like the fact that, so it makes me wonder what we'll see from the Wall Society later, like what kind of technology they have, because like they've specialized in fighting Titans. So in a weird way, like they're actually better suited to fighting Marley than, at least on the front of where they rely on Titans for combat, than anyone else. Because we know, like, of course, if it's been time since they've been back in the mainland, they probably know about the 3D maneuvering stuff, but still. So the fact is that they can, like, all of their technology for combat is geared towards Titans, whereas everybody else has got themselves and Titans. That's just going to leave them kind of weak when they actually have to fight other people. So I don't know how that's going to work out. But like I said, quite a bit there. Like, it's largely a big action chapter, and there's some nice stuff in there. So that's what. But I think I covered the points I want to cover in particular. So I'm sorry to kind of cut it short. Just kind of how it worked out this time. Still, that has been the Attack on Titan Chapter 92, Marley Soldiers. So we'll see some more of this next month, but until then, you have a good time and bye bye.